After that offensive line discussion, Jason, do you think it is fair or unfair to evaluate Deshaun Watson's play against the Giants in a good light or a bad light? Or is it all tied to the fact that the offensive line was giving up pressures, play in and play out? Is it fair to actually give an evaluation on his performance, or is it unfair considering the offensive line's play?
It's always fair to evaluate the quarterback. Always. It doesn't matter what else is going around him. His job is to figure it out and make it work. And yes, of course, there were opportunities where he was rushed. There was some that I didn't understand where he starts in the shotgun and it looks like he's still taking a 5-step drop out of the shotgun. Get rid of the ball. Get rid of the ball. You know the situation that you're under. Get rid of it. There were guys that were open on certain routes. I'm not saying this is not the conversation I had after week one. Week one, I felt really strongly that he was holding the ball too long consistently. He was missing guys who were open. And I think as the week went on, the data and the talking points sort of bared that out. I'm not saying that this time, but I'm saying that there were opportunities and there were plays. The 4th and 1, I have no idea what he was looking at. On the RPO on 4th and 1, after Jameis gets blocked on 3rd and 1, if you're going to pull it back and you're not going to hand it off, you have to throw that ball. And Jordan Akins was open, and he was looking right at him. You have to throw that ball. And so that's what I'm talking about. There were opportunities in there to make plays that he didn't make. This is not the Deshaun. I don't want to have the same conversation week after week after week. We have to forget the idea of Deshaun Watson from 2020 and 2019. That player does not exist anymore. I don't know why, but I know I have 4 years of evidence to say that that guy doesn't exist anymore. But someone in Berea hasn't figured that out yet, and they're just going to keep ramming this home, trying to play that style, and they don't have the personnel to do that. But it's still fair to evaluate the guy. You have to. Like, he's the franchise quarterback. Bull, you talked about it before. Joe Burrow's played behind some horrendous offensive lines, and the Bengals did just fine. But you have to run the route schemes to fit that. You can't be trying to run 15, 20-yard depth routes when you're under the type of pressure that they're under. There are ways to mitigate spotty line play, and the Browns aren't doing it. So I don't give Deshaun a pass. And yeah, Cedric Tillman dropped a ball, hit him right between the numbers. He absolutely has to catch that ball 10 times out of 10. He has to catch that ball. That's not on Deshaun, obviously. But there are plenty of other plays that I can point to that were on him that weren't made yesterday. He didn't play well.
You know what's interesting? You know what Deshaun Watson and Bryce Young have in common? Anybody?
The 2 lowest QBRs in football this year.
That is correct. See, we're unfortunately in a spot where the Browns quarterback is not good at playing quarterback. And who could have possibly guessed that? I get it. He wasn't the biggest culprit to me yesterday. He made some really good throws. That touchdown throw to Amari Cooper was a great throw.
Both of them were, honestly.
Yeah, they both were. And those plays to Amari on the sidelines, like, yeah, we know Amari's great at getting his feet in better than anybody, but he made some good throws. But he doesn't see the field the way the great quarterbacks do. And frankly, as you said, Jason, forget about the past. I don't even know. Watching him now, I don't know how he had the success he did in Houston. Maybe all the mental stuff all the stuff he's had to deal with from a mental standpoint has destroyed his confidence and taken his ability to see the field. Maybe. I don't know. All I know is that he has been one of the worst quarterbacks in the league for the last 3 years by almost any stat. QBR near the bottom, completion percentage near the bottom, turnover percentage near the bottom.
I don't know that there's a stat that he's good in.
Wins.
I really don't.
No, he's not. Is he that good in wins, Mike? What is his?
Got like a 600 win percentage as a starter.
What's his record as a starter? First of all, don't count that game where he played 3 plays against the Colts.
Well, he was 4-1 last year.
Yeah.
3-3.
So that's 7-4. So he's 8-6.
That's about 600.
That's not 600.
Is it 570?
Whatever it is, it's 14 games. Don't tell me about 600.
You asked. I'm answering you. I agree. I don't quarterback. You don't win and lose as a quarterback.
It's ridiculous.
You just asked the question. I was just giving you an answer.
Again, not the biggest culprit yesterday, but he misses too many plays. And when is it going to be like? Is that going to change? I said last week that I've given up hope on him being great. And hope he can be serviceable, decent. I thought he was in game 2. I thought he was close to that in this game, serviceable, but I still think he was pretty bad. You look at his QBR just for this week, he was like 23rd out of 28. He just misses too many things. Again, he's getting no help. The wide receivers don't get open. There's too many drops. The O-line stinks. I'm not giving a pass to anybody on the offense. They all suck. The play calling sucks. Kevin Stefanski's got his head up his ass. Maybe he should start calling out players like Callahan did in Tennessee. And let's face it, as much as I like Stefanski, him being a two-time coach of the year is the biggest fraudulent credit in the history of professional sports. We all know that. Anybody with a brain knows that. He's not I like Kevin Stefanski, but the idea that he's been the best coach in the NFL 2 times is laughable, and anybody with a brain knows that. Let's be honest.
G?
Well, listen, Deshaun, he missed some. I seen it. I got to watch the all 22, but there's two throw to Akins. He should have threw that. There was another play where he missed Amari Cooper on a shallow drag. He airmailed it. There's another one to Elijah Moore down the seam. I don't know if it was miscommunication on whether or not he wanted to run a skinny post or keep straight and run vertical. He was kind of demonstrative after that. No, Deshaun Watson didn't play, and I even tweeted, look, Deshaun needs to be transcendent. He's going to have to make a couple of plays in this game because he's not getting no help from a lot of different areas. So he's going to have to make some plays in this game. However, when it comes to this game in particular, I agree. This was not game one. There were times where Deshaun Watson was getting pressure and he couldn't even step up in the pocket. Game one, I would say, hey, step up, get rid of the football, do something, right? This game, I don't care if you was Patrick Mahomes. Like the pressure, 17 hits was crazy. 8 sacks, you can't win those games doing that. And there's still penalties up front. When you look at the situation with Kevin Stefanski, I don't know what it is. At one point in time, you're going to have to get 2 yards by running the ball. I don't want to see a quarterback sneak in the RPO on 3rd and 1 or 4th and 3rd. It's 3rd and 1. You can't get a yard. You can't give me 1 yard. I don't know what that is. And here's the bigger picture. We've been kind of caught in this thing where either it's Deshaun Watson or it's Joe Flacco or it's Baker Mayfield. We have been micro-focused on a quarterback play. And I'm afraid that while we've been micro-focused on the quarterback play, we have fallen off at other positions that we just haven't noticed. I woke up this morning and questioned, look, man, nobody wants to say this, but we had 2 superhuman freaks. One of them is Nick Chubb and one of them is Myles Garrett. And when it comes to Myles Garrett, I'm telling you right now, when you have guys that been triple teamed their whole life, when you got guys and you run the style of offense that you run where you're running the ball, you guys get old very quickly. Myles Garrett, we may be seeing the start of the decline of Myles Garrett. And at the end of the day, I've told you before, Myles Garrett is not one of them people that's going to sit around and when your body starts hurting and you're losing games and you look up and say, wow, I don't know if I could do this. He started at the end of the game, he said, my feet and my back hurt. Everything hurts. Every time I get ready to do something, this hurts. You look at the breakdown of Wyatt Teller, the breakdown of Antonio, the breakdown of Nick Chubb. And my big fear is this. We missed our window, fellas. We missed the window. We at this point, we are the people that we wanted to still be intact while we were playing musical chairs at quarterback. And we thought we was getting a little bit of a quarterback issue here or there. And we thought we was getting something that was going to prolong that window. Maybe we missed it. Maybe we missed it.
Certainly possible. Wyatt Teller, by the way, officially from Stefanski will miss a couple of weeks, according to the head ball coach. One thing on Watson I wanted to point out, Bull.
Mike, real quick, though, but based on what you said, and I know Jason knows this better than anyone because he talks with Wyatt. For Wyatt Teller to miss a few weeks, it's got to be really bad. Right, Jason?
I have not talked to him, but I think I believe it's an MCL.
Oh, boy.
So I said earlier in the show he's going to miss a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's season ending, but based on what I heard yesterday after the game, They knew it was going to be a few weeks.
And can you even count on the fact? I'm not counting on the fact that Jet Wills is going to be able to come back and play a significant role on this team the rest of the year.
I don't know what's going on with Jed. I have no idea. He had a knee scope and he missed 11 months or 8 months or whatever it was. It's insane. And obviously there was something else going on with it. Obviously he had some sort of setback. It's not supposed to take this long to come back, and he didn't even make it through one game. And I don't know if what he left with yesterday is tied to what he had previously. Common sense logic would indicate yes, but I don't know that. But yeah, I don't know how you can count on him right now in any capacity whatsoever.
One last Garrett day to day, says Mary Kay.
Yeah, we're gonna get to Myles next.
Yeah.
I want one last point on Watson, and I'll do another read. We'll get to Myles Garrett. But when you go back and watch the tape, one of the things he did really well in Houston, and one of the things that the best quarterbacks in the NFL today do, is they throw guys open. The receivers don't have to be open. They have anticipation to, okay, he's covered now, but if I throw it to a certain spot, I can throw guys open. Through at least 3 weeks, and he's been under constant pressure, and his receivers aren't great, he hasn't thrown guys open. He hasn't found ways to anticipate some certain windows and throws that we had become accustomed to seeing him doing back in Houston.
We got to stop making excuses. Like, every time we say Deshaun Watson's not playing well, we're like, I do it too. Well, the offensive line's bad. We know these things are bad. We don't have to reiterate it because we're worried that the people on this side of the aisle are going to get mad every time we say Deshaun Watson's not good.
I'm just pointing out that one particular facet of his game has not been there through 3 weeks.
He was brought here to raise the play of the guys around him. He has not been able to do that.
I will say this. The reason we pre-qualify a lot is because we are hyper focused on the quarterback. We talked about it all off season. It doesn't matter what everything else happens. It's about Deshaun Watson.
All on 4.
That's not accurate. you can't say that all these things. And that's the thing. It's hard as hell to win football games. And if it takes more than one area opportunity for you to win these games. And when we're watching it, yeah, there's some throws that Deshaun Watson needs to make. But as I talked about in the post-game show, there are major issues with this team from the top down in terms of what they're calling, the philosophy, what they're running. So I think we do a disservice to boil it down to the quarterback. Yes, yeah. If Deshaun Watson was Patrick Mahomes or whatever the case may be, maybe we could expect to come out here and be like, hey, we're just going to hand him the ball and make some plays happen. Today, that is off the table. But he is not the quarterback that can do that.
That's right. And the truth is that there are only a few quarterbacks that make their players better. The Browns are flawed, but we thought Deshaun Watson was one of those special quarterbacks that make players better, as Mahomes does to a level nobody else does. But to a lesser degree, there are a few other guys who do that, like Josh Allen, like Joe Burrow. Look at the Bills. They're off to a good start, right? They're playing tonight. Who are they playing tonight?
Jacksonville.
Yeah, they decent chance they get to 3-0. We'll see. Who do they got skill position wise?
It's a worse receiving core than the Browns. There's no doubt about that.
Who's their number one receiver? Anybody know?
Khalil Shakir.
Okay, good luck.
Yeah.
And what they're about? What? Because he's special. He makes as you said, Joe Burrow, the year the Bengals went to the Super Bowl, he was the third most sacked quarterback in the league. In fact, including in the playoffs, he got sacked like 20 times. They still one play away from winning the Super Bowl.
Yep. And instead, we sit here and celebrate because he threw a dime to Amari Cooper in the corner of the end zone. Okay, great. You're an NFL quarterback. You damn well better be able to make that throw. But we take victory laps in Cleveland. Like, people celebrate that he made one good throw and act like he's back. He ain't back, guys. He ain't ever coming back. You bought a bus pass. You didn't buy
and you Baker Bros are still not vindicated, even though he played like crap again this week. He's not the answer either. The Browns, yes, looking back, the Browns should not have made this trade, but Baker was not the answer either. So either way, we're screwed. The team can't find a quarterback. The team's going to need a quarterback. They're going to have to draft one.
I hope they can coach him up well enough to play as good as Baker was playing when they got rid of him. How about that?
And can we say this too?
Last point, we're moving on.
For all the musical chairs that we got at calling the plays, Stefanski, you the only one that had that play sheet the whole time. The last game I saw you when Flacco was here, everybody want Flacco to be here, right? We got boat raced by the Texans.
I don't want Flacco here. Anybody saying they want Flacco to be here is an idiot.
Well, here's what I'm saying. The constant is Kevin Stefanski calling plays. That's the constant. They got rid of Alex Van Pelt.
Stefanski.
They brought in Dorsey. They brought in Dorsey to do a job.
Yep.
He said he was going to call the plays. And Kevin Stefanski, by the way, the first 3 games, Brian Dable looked like a genius. I didn't see the same level.
Yeah, we're gonna get to Stefanski in a sec.